Hi everyone, welcome back to the day 2 of the 24 days of Microsoft Fabric series. So today in this video, we will be setting up our Fabric Workspace and we will understand the Medallion architecture and we will be building the entire structure that we will use through this series. So let's jump into the session. So we will start with creating a new workspace for our 24 days series of Microsoft Fabric. So in the Fabric portal, when you will log into the Fabric portal, you will see there is an option in the home as new workspace. So we will click on the new workspace. Then we'll name this workspace as Fabric 24 days series. Okay. Then we will give a description as practice Fabric. In the advanced, we will select the version. So this will be a trial. I'll apply. And easily you can see we have created our workspace here. Okay. So the workspace which we created, this will be a kind of folder where we will be keeping all our items in different separate subfolders. Okay. So this will work as a resource group in the classic Azure. Now let's talk about the medallion architecture. So medallion architecture is the foundation of modern data design in Fabric. Here we divide data into three layers. The first layer is the bronze layer, where we will keep the raw data exactly as received from the source. So for our case, it will be stored in the lake house and we will call it as the raw zone. Then it comes the second layer. It is called as silver, the transformation layer. This is where we clean, filter and prepare the data. Sometimes this layer isn't a separate lakehouse. We perform these transformations using the data flows or pipelines. Then the third layer, which is gold layer, we call it as a business layer also. So this is the curated business ready layer stored in a warehouse. Inside this warehouse, we will create two schemas. One will be the stage where we will load the semi-transformed data from the raw zone, and another will be mart where we will load the final analytical and reporting tables. So the data flow will look like this as raw will be the lakehouse, stage will be the warehouse schema, and mart will be the warehouse schema. Now let's start working on this medallion architecture, and I'll show you how we can create our project in a medallion architecture. So first of all, let me just create three folders. So first folder I will be creating as a bronze. Then I'll create silver, then a gold. Inside bronze, I'll create a folder for our lake house. I'll create a new item in our raw lake house folder. So I'll create a lake house there. I'll name it as LH underscore raw. Okay. So as you can see, we have created our raw lake house. Now let's go to the silver layer. Here I'll create two subfolders, one for the pipeline and another for the data flows. One more folder I'll create for the notebooks because we will be using notebooks also. Then we'll come to our gold layer. There I will create a folder for pipeline mart and another folder for our warehouse. So here I'll create our warehouse as WH gold. Now let's create our two schemas which we discussed. So here in the schema, I'll click on the new schema. The first schema is I'll create as stage DWH. Another I'll create as smart DWH. So you can see our both of the schemas got created. Now we can create a small we can create a pipeline. So one more folder I'll keep here, which will be the raw pipelines. So today we will be practicing first we will create a simple pipeline using a copy data activity. So let's create a simple pipeline. So we'll name it as PL simple load. Here we will be just loading file in our lake house using a copy data activity. So this is the canvas when you open a pipeline. So you will see the canvas like this. So here, if you click on the pipeline activity, you will see multiple pipeline activities, or else you can click on the activities. And here also you will find all the activities. The rest you can find here in our lake house using the upload method. So when we will go to the lake house, you can directly upload files here. So you can see, you can just directly click and you can upload the file. The file uploaded you will see here. Now what you can do, you can just right click on this three dots and you can load it as a table also in the lake house. So you can see it is success. Now again, let's go to our pipeline which we are going to create. You can add copy data activity. So we will select the uh, lake house here in the source. We can select both tables or files. If you want to select tables, we have to refresh here and we will see all the tables present in that lake house. The list of the tables here. As of now, we have the only table. If we click on file, we have to browse the table from the file. Or else we can provide the path. So here we have only one file. Let's go with the table first. We can preview the data as well. Let's close. In the destination, let's select our warehouse. Sorry. Warehouse gold we will select. So basically we don't have any table structure created there. So we will click on the auto create table. And the schema, we will keep it in the stage underscore DWH. And table name, we can write it as raw underscore customer underscore STG. If you go to the advanced option, here there are some other values like batch timeout. You can keep it as, by default it will be 30 minutes. So you can keep it as per the required. In the source advanced, you can keep the version, you can keep the timestamp. If you want to add additional column, you can keep at some additional columns. So we have completed the setup of our source and destination. So let's validate and run this pipeline. So we don't have any issues, errors. So we can save and run. So whatever the things we configured, everything will be set as the JSON information here. You can see in the input. And then after completion, we can see the output as well. As you can see, our run is succeeded. So we can see the output. Here you can see data has written, rows and has been read and copied. There is no errors. Let's go and see in the warehouse. Do we have a new table there or not? So in our stage DWH tables, we can see our raw customer underscore stage. So in this class, we will be seeing only these information for today, ki how we can separate, we can create our medallion architecture layers like bronze, silver, and gold. In the bronze, we have to keep our lake house for the raw data and our raw pipelines, which will load the raw data in our lake house. Then in the silver, we will create separate folders for our stage pipelines and notebooks and data flows. In the gold layer, we will create a separate folder for our pipeline mart, which will be stage to mart pipelines, and again our warehouse with both of the schemas. So this is for today. In upcoming class, uh, we will see one feature of data pipeline. How we can bulk load data files like multiple tables at a time using a single copy data activity, and we will use lookup and for each activities there. So that we will be covering in our coming classes. And yeah, also we will learn about some other things, which is SCD1, SCD2, creating pipelines using script method for SCD2, creating pipeline using data flow method for SCD2, and so on. So uh, please be connected with us, and always check for any updates in our database channel. Thank you. Bye bye.